Okay, I think we can begin. Welcome to the very first Mentor Middle School Theater Awards. I am John Green, I'm the director here at Mentor Theater. And on behalf of all the Mentor Theater students and faculty, welcome to the Congress Center. Just to give you a brief history, for a couple of years now, I've toyed around with starting theater awards for the middle school program. And when the rumor was that we were going to go from 3 middle schools to 2, I figured I may as well wait until the year came that we went down to 2. Tonight is really just supposed to be a celebration of both theater programs, and I tried to even out how many awards each school was getting, so there's none of that competition between Memorial got this, Shore got that, because all the students in these programs, hopefully, will be participating in theater when they get up here, and I want them to start recognizing faces as they travel from 6th to 7th to 8th grade and on up here. The first award that I would like to give is the Scene Stealer Award, and that goes to a young gentleman that no matter what he was doing in Legally Blonde over at Shore, he literally stole the show. Ladies and gentlemen, 6th grader by the name of Alex Nicoletti.
Totally unexpected. I just came here for the show and stay extreme.
Presenting our next award, Outstanding Cameo, is a junior who's going to be the secretary of Mentor Theater next year, Alyssa Desitel.
So winners for Outstanding Cameo are Paige Schubert and Doug Slovenhead.
Chutney Window. The thing I've learned about theater kids, they get all shy and bashful, unless they have lines to memorize. The next presenter is next year's president of Mentor Theater, Alexis Cardinale.
These next awards are going to the outstanding stage managers, who are Isabel Quinones and Ishani Zimmerman.
Speaking, if the cast who's performing from 42nd Street would like to come up on stage. Good evening.
and for the last 11 years, I have been directing the middle school musical at Memorial, which has been my pleasure to do since I was a student at Memorial myself from 1982 to 1985, way back in the Reagan administration. And that's when it was still Memorial Junior High School. And of course, if you know your history, and I know Mr. Green does because he's done an excellent job of researching Mentor Theater's history, Memorial, of course, was the original Mentor High School, going all the way back to 1922. And they've been performing shows in that auditorium, basically all the way back to that first year. Is that right? And when they formed Thespian Troupe as part of the International Thespian Society, we always thought it was cool, and I know I did when I was a student at Mentor, when we got inducted to the Mentor International Thespian Society, because a lot of high schools throughout the country will have troop numbers like 8753 or troop number 1,600 something. Mentor's Thespian troop number is 6, which we thought was pretty cool. And we've been basically active through that time ever since. And in 2 years, that auditorium will celebrate 1 century of productions. So I was just thinking about that, and I thought we might have to do something special for that. The shows that I've done there tend to be the classics, and I'm not sure why I gravitate to those. But I don't like staging things with lots of animals and weird costumes and stuff. So I avoid the Willy Wonkas and the Wizard of Oz's. Mostly I just don't want to work that hard. But I also don't want my parents who do all the costuming to have to figure out how to make a Tin Man and stuff like that. So we've done shows like Thoroughly Modern Millie. 2 years ago we did Anything Goes. And this year we did a production of 42nd Street. And appropriately enough for that old auditorium, 42nd Street is probably the oldest show that, well, it is the oldest show that we staged there in my time there. Because the story goes all the way back to the 1930s. And now 42nd Street is kind of synonymous with New York Musical Theater itself, because there and Broadway is where a lot of the big theaters are. And indeed, in 42nd Street, one of the big numbers is Lullaby in Broadway. And so 42nd Street is kind of synonymous with what musical theater is. The first time I saw 42nd Street was 31 years ago next month. I had just graduated from this building in 1988, and my director, Mr. Lorick, took us to Ball State University, of all places, Muncie, Indiana, because at that time, that's where the International Thespian Festival took place. And it's just a week of theater. Something that I encourage you guys to try one of these days at the high school. You just see theater for a week, and you see schools from all over the country performing main stage shows. There were 2 shows that especially knocked our socks off. They were in a college auditorium that was a lot like this one. The first one, interestingly enough, was Sweet Cherry, which we watched, and it blew everybody away. It was performed by a troupe from Hawaii, and it was awesome. So awesome that my director, Mr. Lorick, decided to stage it 3 years later, and you see the poster of it on the wall. My brother, in fact, appeared in that show. That girl on there is his old girlfriend. So now Mr. Green is going to be reviving that show for their spring musical next year. And I am really excited for you Mentor Theater students who will be here next year to do that. You are not going to want to miss it. But the second show that they did at that festival was 42nd Street. Now my Memorial students know that that show begins with an audition. Julian Marsh, the big producer, is putting on a show. And the show begins, and we had to do this big audition dance number with the whole cast. Well, imagine, if you will, an auditorium like this, the curtains closed, and instead of parting the curtain left, right, the curtain raises. And it raises and stops at about 2.5 feet up. And across the entire stage, much like this, you see about 100 dancing feet, all tapping, and the auditorium exploded. It was the coolest thing ever, just to see the stage just 2.5 feet revealed, and from there on, everyone was sold for the rest of that production number. Well, unfortunately, at Memorial, the curtain is a crummy shape, and it doesn't go up and down, it just goes side to side. So we didn't get to do that awesome thing, which I always wanted to try. And we also didn't get to do in our signature tune, We're the Money, which was our big dance number. On that show, they rolled out giant nickels and dimes and slammed them on the ground, and they stood up and danced on it, and that was awesome. We lost our minds. We didn't do that either. But we did do some pretty cool stuff. Now, Mr. Green has been so generous to host us for this event tonight, and wanted us 2.5 months after our show ended to do some live music. So here we are to attempt it. And we're going to perform 2 snippets for you. The first is a song called Quarter to Nine, which Emily Polaczyk is going to sing for you. She played Dorothy Rock, who is the aging, fading superstar. And she does this as a duet with the young woman who is kind of on the rise. And the song is her teaching her how to sing a great ballad. Emily's going to do that for you, and as soon as it concludes, my cast is going to, while you're applauding this amazing piece, come up here on the stage, up the stairs, and we're going to go directly into a second number called You're Getting to Be a Habit with Me, which was a full cast number. So here we go. 2.5 months later, a few minutes of Memorial Middle School's outstanding production, I thought, of 42nd Street. Emily, come on down, center stage.
we were scheduled to be in a lecture, the one number I wanted to recognize was for their outstanding group number in 42nd Street was We're in the Money. So I'd like to get Mr. Couch back up here to receive the outstanding group number. Oh, there it is, there it is. And then the outstanding duet from 42nd Street was about 8:45 with Emily Palachik. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, and Cordelia Kramer, who had prior obligations. So, Emily, if you could come on up here and get the award.
So originally, Thursday night was a duet with Cordelia Kramer, who played Peggy Sawyer, and it was really an honor to be singing with her, and just the fact that I've been recognized by so many people is really heartwarming, especially because of all the hard work that everyone in the show has put in. It's really cool to be seeing that we're getting recognized. Because this is the first theater award, and I really think that I'm really happy that we're doing this, because I feel like we all do such great jobs, and often we don't get much recognition, and it's really nice to be kind of congratulated. And yeah.
Our next award is Owen Keller, freshman in entertainment.
All right, the award for outstanding sound is going to be presented to Tommy Toth and Jen Vance.
Okay, if I could have Miss Martoni come up here to present the special award. As she's making her way, it's very easy for the Theater Hall of Fame Council and I to hand out outstanding actors performance awards. But I needed Miss Martoni from Shore and Mr. Couch to sort of help me with the technical aspects. And she has a special award to give herself. Well, not to give herself.
So our next award is going to somebody who I don't really necessarily think the play could have survived without. This person was very involved in helping us with our sound system the day before the play, getting everybody mics, organizing that. So we'd like to give an outstanding effort award to Owen C. Trevisan.
All right, so I'm gonna say something, and it was a lot of stress. I kind of did. I don't want to sound rude, but I kind of did a lot. Thank you.
The Hall of Fame Council and I wanted to recognize some outstanding group performances. There were little pods of people that really supported both of the shows. So here to introduce them is Mrs. Lord Benadia and Mrs. Diane Pumpkin, both former Mentor Theater students and current Hall of Fame council members.
Okay, for memorial, I'd like to recognize Stacia Separati, Maggie Chen, Kira Leland, Kate Lisenchenko, and Carissa Motes.
Hi. I was not expecting this, but I want to say thank you, and I couldn't have done it without anyone else, and everyone did a great job, I gotta say. I just wanted to say that I think everybody did a great job this year, and it was really fun working with the whole cast and getting to do this great group performance. Hello. So, I didn't expect this either. It kind of just like, yeah. But, I really enjoyed this year, and I'm totally looking forward to next year.
I would just like to say that I thoroughly enjoyed watching your performances. As a teacher in the district, it is truly an honor to be able to watch all of you grow and mature as performers. So for sure, we would like to acknowledge our group of performers, Emily Burns, Kathleen Lucas, and Emily Parrish.
Hi. I would just like to say thank you to the whole cast for making my last year at Shore really unforgettable. There was a lot of just random things that went on that made this year really fun, and I just am going to miss you all, so thank you. That's it.
I would like to say that I enjoyed this play a lot, and I am so excited for next year, so thank you.
Mrs. Compton actually performed in a play with Mr. Cow, Unky Winker Bean's Homecoming, a world premiere right here. And to the Shore students, you better never bring that up to her. If you see her in the hall, because she will give you the stink eye. Okay, Miss Martoni, come introduce the scene from Legally Blonde.
While I'm doing this, can the performers from Bend and Snap and Legally Blonde slow before we have the stage, please? So our show Legally Blonde Jr. followed Elle Woods on her quest to win back her love, Warner, by obtaining a law degree from Harvard University. As her journey progressed, Elle learned that she was more than a bubbly blonde, but actually a pretty darn good lawyer. It truly sent a message about female empowerment, hard work, and believing in yourself. Legally Blonde Jr. represented a lot for our program over at Shore. It was the first production that included the combined cast of Shore and Ridge Middle School. It was my first time directing at Shore, and for many of our students, it was their first time participating in a musical, myself included. The kids heard my singing voice today, they did not enjoy it. We learned a lot about ourselves through this production. We faced many obstacles, including a dog that wanted to stage dive off the stage every day. A last-minute set change the week before the show, actually the week of the show. The world's worst restaurant actually had brown hair. Fun fact, we also had a cast where Elle Woods was played by a sister and Warner was played by a brother. So that was a real fun stage. But despite these obstacles, we put on an amazing show that all sold out within the first 15 minutes of the door opening all 3 shows. I'm so proud of these young men and women. I can't wait to see what the 8th graders accomplish next year at Menor High School. I'm looking forward to working with this group of 6th and 7th graders next year as we embark on our next show, Shrek the Musical. Without further ado, our cast of the Dublin will be performing 2 shows tonight. Or not 2 shows, sorry. 2 songs. Well, same thing. So the first song we're performing is actually, you guys want to do Gun Snappers? Is that right here? This is how it works, though. They talk about this. We're going to start with the Legally Blonde solo. So in this scene, Elle Woods has just been hit on by her professor, and she's feeling pretty down on herself and thinking about dropping out of law school. We'll follow up with Bed and Snap, which I think, well, it speaks for itself. So.
Take back the books and pack up the clothes. Clear out the room and drop off the key. Leave what's left of my dignity. Get in the car and just go. Chalk it all up to experience. They said I'd fail, but I disagreed. Who could say that where my path will lead? Well, now I know. Back to the sun, back to the shore, back to what I was before. Back where I'm known, back in my own very small pond. Laugh with my friends when I arrive. We'll drop the top and just drive. That's fine with me, just let me be legally blonde.
What's wrong?
Callahan tried to kiss me.
He what?
Then he fired me. He made it very clear I don't belong.
He's wrong. We'll fix it. We'll fight it.
Emmett, please. There's no reason for me to stay.
What about love? I never mentioned love. The timing's bad, I know. But perhaps if I made it more clear that you belong right here, you wouldn't have to go.
It's not up to me. Just let me be legally
I
blonde.
need you to
It's
say.
not up to me. Just let me be legally blonde.
Martoni for Bendon staff. Congratulations. And the outstanding duet to Legally Blonde with Owen C. Herberton and Leah Hodge. Let's see who gets up here first.
Hi, I would just like to say thank you to all of our amazing directors, Ms. Martoni, Alyssa, and Jackie. And thank you to the cast who made working on the show very, very fun. Thank you.
Here to present the outstanding actresses in both school productions is our current president of Menor Theater, Connor Razashevsky.
First from Shore, Allie Selleck. Leah Hodgkin. And Lindsay Siskin.
I just wanted to say I had a really great time being with Legally Blonde. The cast was amazing, and I think our show was absolutely great, so thank you.
I just want to say I had so much fun on the cast, just all together. We all had so much fun together, and I love taking care of Sam the puppy.
And from Memorial, Cordelia Clammer. Abby Nino. And Emily Polachek.
Hi everyone. I would just like to thank our director, Mr. Couch, and I'd also like to thank Ms. Niederkorn and the cast. They made this production phenomenal, and I'd also like to thank my family for being very supportive. So thank you.
Hi. Of course, I'd like to thank our director, Mr. Couch, and also my family for not tossing me out the window for complaining about how many lines I had. And thank you for paying for all these summer theater camp awards and all those summer theater camp classes and everything that kind of led up to this. And Cordelia, who isn't here, she said that if she got the award to say, "Go Steve, go Cards." Thank you.
Okay, the final awards are for the outstanding actors. The outstanding actors from Memorial are Matt Dawson, Ethan Frank, Owen Green, and Justice Leah and Justice. I know I saw him here somewhere. He's over there. Okay. Come on up, Justice.
Oh God, where do I start? Well, first of all, thank you for, well, just about everything that you just had to do. Everybody, especially you, Mr. Couch. The last play I've done for a long time. It's been meeting for a while, actually, most of the summer. It was the most fun I've had in a very, very, very long time. Oh God. Stressful, but fun. I think it shows up. Yep.
Okay, so, I wasn't gonna do a speech, but I mean, I was encouraged to do a speech. So before we get into like Mentor Theater, I'd like to take it way back to Rich. I'd like to thank Miss Martoni for kind of shaping me into the actor that I am today, and for helping me become a theater kid. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Couch and my whole cast for kind of just helping me and encouraging me throughout the years. And yeah, without them, I really wouldn't be doing what I've done for the past 3 years. So, yeah. Thank you.
Our first Best Actor from Shore had the smallest part of any of the Best Actor winners, Sam Marconi. I like how his owner actually got him a little bow tie for these. Thank you, Mr. Marconi. Okay, the 3 actor awards: Jackson Hodges, Owen C. Irvington, and Corey Moore.
First, I would like to thank Miss Martoni, our director, for this show wouldn't really be a show without her. So, I'd like to thank her and our cast for making my first middle school show the best one it could possibly be. And for, yeah.
I was so honored to be in theater for my first year of actually being in a theater production this year, and the cast and Ms. Martoni just made it such a good experience. So I'm glad I did theater, and thank you.
Okay, Mr. Couch thanked me for having them perform 2.5 months later. To close the evening, the high school kids would like to perform 2 numbers from their spring musical, which was just over a month ago. So if the high school kids can come up and move the piano and open the Mid-Stage Traveler. I have to admit, we had a cast of 64, 65, and I think we're only going to get about half of them, so we will see how much of a train wreck the first number is with dance partners that probably aren't here because of AP tests that they have to study for, this concert, that concert, work, stuff like that. And when we were going to be in a lecture, I knew there was no way that we would be able to perform the first number on the A lecture stage. So when we got word Friday that we were going to be in here, I was like, we may as well do Big D. So I apologize now if it's all over the place. So we're going to do Big D and Songs of Summer Night. And at the end of that, that'll be the close of the first ever Theater Awards. So thank you very much for supporting your children, and I hope to see you all next year.
Thank you.